Tell us about your fascination with brands. Where did that start? And particularly luxury brands, stories of which you tell on your social media as well.
Akshata, it's impossible not to be fascinated by brands. Every waking moment of our lives, we are surrounded by brands. Some of us dream of brands even when you're sleeping, so it's inescapable.
Are you one of those?
I mean, yeah, there are a few that sort of keep me up at night sometimes. But when I sleep, then I'm deep in slumber. Um, so, when you think about the concept of a brand, to me, it's interchangeable with that of a human being. Every human being to me is a brand, and every brand to me is a human being. Let me try and explain that, for your clarity. Um, if I enter a dinner party and there are, 60 people there, I'm going to speak to maybe the 7 or 8 that attract me, that for some reason draw my attention. That's the way it is with brands, right? I mean, when it comes to, let's say, a pair of shoes, there are maybe 300 shoemakers that might sort of cover my spectrum. The ones that draw me in are the ones that maybe visually appeal to me, but I also want to know the story as to why they're so richly made. Why is the color so different from the other one? So those aspects then also play out onto how human beings are. Each of us, we speak of human beings needing to find their purpose. I think human beings need to start off by understanding their brand attributes. Picture, if you will, a shopping cart, with a wobbly wheel being sort of wheeled down an aisle with an aisle that is filled with, let's say, 78 brands of potato chips, right? All shapes, all colors, all flavors, all sizes. Amongst those 78, you're one of those bags. And you want the person who's wheeling this cart to pick you. Now, this person wheeling the cart is perhaps the lady who you're trying to win the heart of. It might be the recruiter who's got that dream job. It might be, it might be, someone who's going to decide whether your child will go to that school or not. It's extremely important for you to understand what your brand attributes are. If I were to turn the spotlight on you and ask you, what are your brand attributes, Akshita? You should be able to tell me in a snap. Most of us don't quite.
I wouldn't be able to, yeah.
Yeah, so we aren't able to articulate that well enough.
But can I also turn this around? If I was in that aisle, let's say, and I'm wearing, a bright yellow suit, so then I get some attention.
Sure.
There's also the issue of legacy. You turn that around on brands. I may like something. I may say, this looks great. But that's a brand everyone has. It's a brand that's, got this value. It's a legacy brand.
Sure.
Which would you choose?
I choose both. Legacy brands, so, when you speak of legacy brands, we're at a time where a lot of legacy brands are trying to grapple with the idea of appealing to a younger audience, many of whom who are not familiar with the history or the wanted appeal of this particular brand. They're trying to speak to them, and that's sort of playing out in many, many ways, right? They're speaking to them in a manner that can be relatable, but it also might be diluting their original essence. So it's very important for one to be able to get a good even balance of the two while maintaining the historic reference or the sort of the cultural significance of the brand, but also some bright young spark, let's say a 26-year-old who has had some incredible life experiences and has created this brand that is fascinating. I think as a consumer we need to be open and have the capacity to embrace both sides equally.
Let's talk about Indian brands. Which is the one that really stands out for you as a success story, looking at it from a marketing perspective especially?
I think Sabyasachi has done an incredible job. He's packaged the exotic appeal of India incredibly. It's high time that we have several brands which have a strong Indian DNA, plant their flag all over the world. It's very important for us to have a global perspective. From that point of view, I think Royal Enfield also has done an incredible job. It's I know, a relatively niche circle of motorcycling, but I think the Lal family has done an incredible job with making sure that you see Royal Enfields no matter where you travel. You could be in Osaka, you could be in Ontario, you could be in Geneva, but you'll have a Royal Enfield sort of dug past you, which is fantastic.
I'm sure it's amazing to see as well because it makes you feel so proud.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I'll give you a personal example. I walked into Hamleys on Regent Street about a fortnight back, and I had almost an akkad walking in, that I'm from the land of the people who own the store now. Um, Very similarly, you guys were racing SUVs in summer race in Switzerland. And I was driving a Lamborghini, my friend was driving a Range Rover, and there were some Porsche mixes. And all of us lost to the Range Rover. Again, I felt a high degree of pride that it's an Indian owned company that's doing it. So India is making its mark felt in very many ways, but we still have a very long way to go in that respect.